Greetings and welcome everyone to Friday's Inspiration. It is Friday again already. Today we're going to be talking about a really important subject that relates to sleep and where we go when we're sleeping. Welcome. I'm in Southern California, this broadcast, and um, for those of you who don't know me, I've been in the healing arts for more than 40 years. And every day, or not every day, every week, we come here to help elevate our frequencies so that we can actually live in those higher vibrations where all of our dreams and desires already exist. And so, a very important part of being healthy and being able to hold a high light frequency in our body is making sure that we get a really restful night's sleep. And when we're sleeping at night, the whole body is regenerating, especially the brain. It's like the brain gets an entire washing. And the body and the brain and the sleep goes in different cycles. It's a little noisy here today. um, it goes in different cycles, and so each of these cycles do different things, lowering our cortisol levels and increasing melatonin, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot that goes on while we're sleeping. And so, if we do not have a restorative and regenerative night's sleep, our bodies are not going to be able to hold this high light frequency, and we will not be able to be as healthy as we'd like to be. Um, and thank you for the question. Someone was asking about whether or not this is safe to do with a fever. Overall, what we do here helps your body to heal itself even that much more. And so, what we're doing here today is also part of our next um, 16-day program where we do a daily MediClearing. So, we're going to be doing a MediClearing very shortly where we are going to do the process called running your energy and clearing these energies that are keeping us out of these higher frequencies. Excuse me. And so that's what we do here every week. And so thank you for that question about whether or not, if you have a fever, if this is safe, because what we're going to be doing is eliminating many of the things that create more stress on your body. So if you eliminate those things that are causing stress and get in a really grounded space that's clear, then your body has more capacity, more ability to heal itself. So, as part of this 16-day program that's devoted entirely this time to all about your health and wellness. And so I thought this would be a good precursor because so many of you are having a hard night's sleep and not feeling rested. As a matter of fact, if you're one of these kind of people that wait until you're completely exhausted before you can go to sleep, like you just dread sleep, you dread going to bed at night because it's just a tossy-turny thing. So you might, spend a bunch of time in front of the computer or in front of your TV until you fall asleep, and then you'll go to bed. And sometimes you may spend half the night in front of your TV. Not the best way to get a good night's rest. So if you're one of those kinds of people who you don't have a process to unwind, you don't have a way of revving up for the down cycle of sleeping, then what we're going to be doing here today is going to be incredibly beneficial because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clearing the space that we go to every night. So, this astral space, and there's lots of different definitions or ideas about what this astral plane is. It's not actually a literal location that we go to. It's not like when we're talking about leaving our bodies that we actually go out and travel, although it sounds like that. We are actually when we're sleeping, we enter different dimensions, and so this astral plane is on a different dimension. So we're still in our bodies. Our Some think that our spirit may leave our bodies. Whatever, it doesn't really matter what the belief is. But the fact is that at night we go somewhere, whether it's just in our mind or it's actually on a literal um, plane, or if it's just a different frequency, that doesn't really matter. What matters is that when we go there, that we feel safe, that it's a fun place to go to. We look forward to it, and that we can learn something every time we go to this space. So, one of the things, so there's three things that I wanted to share as far as, if you want to call these secrets or hacks, to be able to have a really safe night's travel. Is during this MediClearing today, we're going to create a space that is one, first of all, ultra grounded. This space that we go to needs to be really grounded, otherwise, we're not going to feel safe. So it's a lot like when our bodies are not grounded. There's no place for all the energies that filter through our energy field, there's no place for it to go. So it's super important that this astral space is ultra grounded. So that's one of the first things that we're going to do. Another thing, so the second thing would be to remove the fear from the space. So this is why a lot of people avoid going to bed at night, or they wait until they're exhausted, or they don't look forward to going to sleep, because it's a scary place. They have scary dreams. Maybe they have nightmares or night terrors, or people are chasing them, or they can't scream to ask for help, or there's just lots of things that can demonstrate the level of fear that we already have in our energy field, but also that could be additionally in this space. So if you've been clearing your energy field, which is great, and you know that you don't hold much fear in your physical body or in your energetic field, you may have still a lot of fear in this, what we're going to call it the dream space. So that's really important. The second thing is super important, is that we clear all of the fear in this space so that we're not afraid to go here every night. And then the third thing that it's really important to do with this space, so that we have safe travels, is to remove all the interference that is in this space. Like there are, um, as we'll see in this meta-clearing that we're going to do. And of course, I never know what we're going to find, but I've done this enough that I know generally what's going to happen. So we're going to find uh, control beings that, even though we may have cleared our energy field of all the control beings, there may be some in this space. And so they're controlling whether or not you feel safe, whether or not you encounter maybe evil spirits or something like that. So, super important that we clear all the interference that's in this space so that we have a really good night's rest. So I'm curious if any of you have questions about this space before we do our clearing. And as always, I really appreciate when you like, subscribe, and especially sharing this with other people. This is a non-monetized platform for this these broadcasts. So you may notice in the recordings there's no commercials. Um, we have plenty of viewers to be able to monetize it, but I tried that once, and I just couldn't stand all the things that were being advertised, and I can't stand commercials anyway. So I we've eliminated all that. So just know that when you come here and listen to the recordings, that there will never be any commercials. So a great way of helping to support this platform is by sharing it with other people. So we really appreciate you doing that. So thank you from India. We have India here. We have New York here. We have Sonali. Oh, hi, Sonali. It sounded like a place, doesn't it? Um, so you guys know each other. That's great. And we also have Roma's visiting the Canary Islands, I believe. Where is that? Yes, the Canary Islands. And so it's always nice to hear where you guys are calling in from because we have a great international audience here. And so this is affects everybody, right? No matter where we are on the planet. And the beauty of this is that these transmissions that are done here, these activations, it transcends space and time so that we can travel through time zones, we can travel through no matter where you are, and you can know that this is going to affect you and your frequencies. So, if there are no questions, great to have you here, Barbara. And let's see what else we got going on here before we go on. See if there's any questions. South Africa, good to have you here as well. All right. So let's see if there was anything else I wanted to talk about before we get going. Um, so one other thing I just wanted to mention before we go ahead and do this clearing is that for those of you who enjoy doing this every week, of course we spend a little longer here doing these clearings, but if you really enjoy these, imagine the benefits of being able to do this every day. We're going to be doing it for 16 days, taking the weekends off, elevating our frequencies, completely devoted to your health and wellness. It's super important and critical, especially for those of you who are healers, that heal yourself, right? That happens first. And so, in order to be able to hold the highest light frequencies, we have to have a really healthy body and a healthy energy field. So, we're going to be doing that starting November 11th, so 11/11, which is next Friday. We're going to be starting early in the morning, and we're going to be doing this every day for 16 days, taking the weekends off. And this will be just before I head to Egypt. I'll be heading to Egypt next month on December 5th. So if you're not going to be joining us, you may consider if you wanted to work with me before then. I'll be offline for about 3 weeks. So if you're wanting to work with me, then be sure to get in on the schedule before I leave. Hello, Hawaii. Great to have you here too. If we clear these things, will we remember our dreams better? That's very possible, and it's a great question. And so, one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing our intentions for this dream space. And so, that would be one of the things we could place in our creative rings in this dream space, which I'll explain in a minute. That could be one of the intentions, is that we remember our dreams, or that we learn something from our dreams, or maybe we want to meet someone, or maybe we want to have a certain kind of experience. So whatever your intentions are, we're going to put those in the creative rings. So let me explain how we're going to do this. So what we're going to do after we run our energy. So we always do that first. We always run our energy to make sure our energy field is clear. And now this whole process of running your energy is outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, the Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence, available on Amazon. And it has illustrations in there. It outlines the whole process and more. So if you feel like you're kind of lost as we do this every week, be sure to get the book, and then you'll be able to follow along and you'll be able to understand what we're doing here. So we're going to be doing the process of running your energy first. And then after that, we're going to create an avatar, which is merely at the image of a person. Now, I like to imagine the image of an anatomy person, so just the muscles. And we're going to make sure it's grounded. We're going to run the energy through it. But we're also going to place our intentions in the rings of this avatar for how you want your dream space to be, how you want your sleep to feel, how you want to feel when you wake up. So that's what we're going to be putting in those rings for our intentions. And okay, great. So if there are no questions, then let's go ahead and get started so that we can have a better night's sleep starting tonight. All right, great. So if you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to do that, and just follow my lead and my prompts as I'm guiding you to what you need to be doing. So first, we're going to get ultra grounded. Now, there's 3 parts to this whole process, and being ultra grounded, there's 4 parts. So first, we're going to put that line of energy, make it big like a pipe. Maybe you can drop a whole cantaloupe down this big pipe. So many of you do not even have a grounding cord, which is ultra important, not just for ourselves, but as you will see, but also for this astral space, this dream space. So when you're not grounded, there's no place for all of the energies that you collect during the day. There's nowhere for it to go. It accumulates, it creates a lot of anxiety, and it also will often kick you out of your body. So you're only occupying your body a very small percentage because it doesn't feel comfortable. So just by getting ultra grounded, we're going to put this pipe down from the base of your spine all the way to the center of the planet so that you can start releasing all this anxiety that you collect every day. And know that most of what you feel and think, for a lot of people, it can be up to like around 90-95% of what you think and feel is not even yours. And so if you doubt that, to make a mental note of how you're feeling right now, and then we're going to compare that with how we're feeling at the end. So let's go ahead and get that ultra grounding going. That's great. So next we're going to send roots down from the bottoms of our feet, and it's going to go deep into the earth, maybe about as far as a redwood tree. And then those roots are also going to wrap around the entire planet. So just below the surface, wrapping around the entire planet. So we connect with this entire communication layer, this very intelligent communication layer. And so, because we're getting ultra grounded. So from here, I want you to start bringing up this energy of the feminine, the energy of abundance, as we bring this energy up through the legs now. And we have a little interference today, a little noisy. And so this is a good practice for you to be able to ignore distractions and be able to stay grounded no matter what's going on around you. So as we're bringing this abundant, feminine, earth energy up through the legs, so it's stopping right at the bottoms of the feet for many of you. So we're going to continue to gently pull this energy up through the ankles so you can have more fun. And through the calves, where there's probably a little bit buildup of adrenaline. There we go, through the knees, and then through that upper thigh. And then when it hits the top of your legs, it's going to go down the grounding cord. So you have 2 loops of energy going up your legs and down the grounding cord. The third part to getting ultra grounded is to see if we have a worry circle. And this worry circle radiates around your root chakra. So ideally, you wouldn't have one. Today, it's out to the third layer. So that's that fear of feeling safe to step into your power. There's lots of degrees of that, lots of ways that that can show up. And I would say it's what most people are working on. So we're just going to pull this energy in, and there are some control beings here in the root chakra. So we're going to use a black flame, the image of a black flame right at the root. And this black flame is going to transmute these attachments of these control beings. Oya nai iana tupo ya mai kiana tuku ya ka ana tata ye pui. Okay, good. So next, we're going to ground your hearts. And okay, so the heart, it gets grounded, but it's stopping right at the solar plexus. So let's go out to the third layer. And there's some control beings here that don't want your heart to be grounded. They know how valuable and how important our heart center is, where we self-generate love, where we access 360 degrees of awareness. Okay, good. And did I say we self-generate love? I would say it twice if I did. It's that important. All right, great. So as we're pulling this energy in, it pulls into the second layer. So this is where you're holding a lot of anger that you direct towards yourself, making yourself wrong, making yourself, judging yourself like you're not doing it right or enough. So again, not your energies. Let's use a black flame right in the center of that heart chakra to transmute these control beings. So just trust that these flames have enough intelligence to know how far out into your energy field to go to find these control beings that we have a specific intention for. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now the heart is grounded. Maybe you took a deep breath too, and maybe you can feel that difference now. A little more ease in the body. Okay, great. So one last thing, it's an added bonus to getting ultra grounded. For the women, we're going to rub our hands together and put a hand on each ovary. And we're going to draw a line of energy that's like a Y so that we can ground our ovaries and then just drain it down the grounding cord. Women absorb a lot of energy through their ovaries and may not even know it. And then the men want to ground the testicles. You would think that it's all get grounded because it's right there near the grounding cord, but it's just forward of it. So you want to include the testicles into that grounding cord so that that is also part of your ultra grounding. Whew, okay, good. So now we're ultra grounded. So now we're going to bring our attention far above our heads, above all of our rings that are stacked above our heads, our creative rings. We're going to start bringing pure source down through our creative rings that hold all of our dreams and our desires. And I'm not talking about dreams of being on the astral plane, but more like our intentions and the things we'd like to create. Those live here in our creative rings. So as we're bringing pure source down through these rings, Pure Source is recalibrating these in our highest and best interests. So it's stopping right at the crown, where we give ourselves permission to have all of these desires in our creative rings. But there's some interference. So out to the third layer. So there's a circle of energy at your crown, just like there is at the root. So this is the permission circle. You give yourself permission. There are control beings in the third layer that are not allowing you to have your sovereignty, your ability to give yourself permission. So we're going to use a black flame right at the crown, and we're going to transmute all of these control beings. And so some of what we're clearing may also be residual energy from Halloween. Veil is very thin, and we tend to pick up lots of extraneous energies, dead people. We'll check for that in a minute. So right as we pull this energy into that second layer, there's a lot of rage that's not ours, that belongs to these control beings. So maybe use even a circle of a black flame around our crown. Whew, so we can transmute these control beings. Ia nae buyota akaye na iate tiama. Boya akea na ti tio no tu boyea. Okay, good. So now as we're bringing Pure Source down through the central core, through our crown, through our sixth chakra, where it's stopping. So right behind our forehead, it's our pineal gland right in the center. And this chakra relates to our beliefs, how we see the world through our beliefs, and maybe other people's beliefs that are not in alignment with ours. That will create a lot of foggy thinking, mental confusion sometimes. So let's clear the control beings that are sitting in the middle of our head and extend all the way out to that third layer, so we don't feel like we have access to our personal power. And it keeps these beliefs going round and round and round, that you don't know what you're doing, that you can't do this or that, all powerless. And also lack mindsets. This can also be part of that too. So use that black flame. Hoya nae ma akaye na tupuyo o moya aye tiana kekia. Okay, so as we're bringing Pure Source down through the sixth chakra now, great, down into the throat, down into the heart, where it's stopping, out to that third layer. So this is where your power is disconnected from your heart chakra. Your ability to self-generate love, your ability to access your infinite intelligence. This is why these extraneous influences, they work really hard in two particular places, the heart and the root chakra. This is such an important energy center. So using that black flame right there in the heart. And so, for those of you who might be new, this is the language of light that just helps to accelerate with these frequencies the release of these energies. Okay, good. So, as we're bringing Pure Source down through the heart, there we go, solar plexus, stopping right there. So, out to the 30th layer. That's that reptilian energy. more control beings trying to stop us from stepping into our power, our knowing, our gifts, our magic. So using a black flame right at that root. I said root. I meant the core of your solar plexus. 3. Yeah. There's a lot in here. There's like about 50 of them. So we just spend a minute or so here just transmuting all of these energies. This could also make us feel really tired, unmotivated, like we have to push or force to make things happen. Whew, okay, good. So as we're pulling this energy in at the solar plexus, we can drop it down the grounding cord. We can let this black flame transmute and dissolve it. Okay, great. So as pure source is coming down through the solar plexus into the second chakra, spilling down the root, take a deep breath into this vertical alignment, connected way up high to pure source, rooted deeply into our Mother Earth, feeling safe, feeling confident, allowing ourselves to be filled with vitality. We're going to mix these two energies at the root. Earth energy coming up the legs, pure source coming down the backside. We're going to bring it up the front through the second, third. So right at that solar plexus, third layer, third chakra. That's like a big stop sign. More control beings. Tuya ma ye a kukua na tieta pu opaye. Okay, good. Coming up through the solar plexus into the heart and throat and 6 and crown and rings, aura. Let's jump out to the 15th layer. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to lift these energies up, up, up. That 1% energy. 25th layer, that's where there's a lot of fear. So what happens on the astral plane in this dream space is often us trying to process and work energies that are also happening in our day-to-day life. So if you find yourself frustrated, afraid, like so we've been clearing a lot of fear from your space, and a lot of these beings that can reflect in your dream space. So that's why it's super important to do this clearing of your energy field first, and then we're going to do the avatar. Okay, 15. 25th layer, starting at the bottom, lifting all this fear out of your energy field. You might notice right around the solar plexus, it gets really heavy. Okay, great. Then we're going to jump out to the 50th layer. This is the watcher energy. If you wanted to use a rainbow flame in this layer, you could do that. We're just lifting all of this energy up. When these energies get above your head, it goes through that central core and off planet. Okay, great. Okay, the rest of your aura is clear. Now let's go back to our heart. We're going to clear our circle of reciprocity. This is the final part of the 3 parts to running our energy. So we're going to start at the heart, and that heart is 100% open. So you're going to start bringing some of your self-generated love out your right arm and out your right masculine giving implementing arm. So it comes down to about the elbow and then it stops. There's more control beings there. Use a black flame right in that elbow. So you can give of your gifts, your time, your energies out into the world. And we're also going to put our fingertips together like we're holding a small ball. And we're going to allow the energy to flow through all of our fingers and through the palms of our hand as we allow ourselves to receive up this left feminine receiving side. So it comes up to the wrist and then it stops. More control beings. Use a black flame so that you can receive some of your own self-generated love. You can fill yourself up so that you're not lonely, so you don't feel like you're not getting enough love in the world. Okay, good. So coming up to the shoulder, more control beings in that left shoulder. Use a black flame. Okay, great. So coming down into the heart. So there's your circle. Out the right arm, in the left. Letting it stir in that heart. And then simultaneously, it passes through the throat and through that sixth chakra and through the crown and through all of your rings. So maybe now you can take a deep breath. So just notice how your body feels different now than when we first started. And those are all the energies that were not yours, that we eliminated, we let go of. And there's a couple things I want to check before we move to this dream space. So one is the level of fear in your body. There's still about 50%. Now, I think this is matching some of the global fear on the planet. We just as yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday, we finally reached as a global consciousness being 100% ready for hardcore disclosure. So we've been having this more softcore disclosure about what's really been going on to all of us on this slave planet. So the softcore disclosure has been preparing us for even darker secrets and more. Hang on just a second. Big fire truck. He's coming to put out the fire. So as a result of all of this getting ready for this disclosure, people on the planet are feeling a lot of this fear. So the fear at 50%, you're not going to feel like terrified biting your nails kind of fear, but it's enough to make you feel uneasy. Like you just don't, you kind of feel a little buzzy. You're not quite calm, maybe feeling a little anxious, but not even knowing what it's about. So let's find where you're holding this fear in your energy field so that we can release it, and you can release these lower vibrations that are feeding the beasts. This is what they live on: fear, anger, rage, terror. So we're going to go down to your root chakra, out to the third layer. That's that fear of you stepping into your power. There's more control beings here. So use a black flame. Fear of the unknown. Fear of the future. Many of you have a fear of dying. Yeah, just allow this flame to transmute these energies And some of you have lost your grounding cord. That's what fear does, is it contracts us. So let's put your grounding cord back down again so you can release all of these energies. There we go. So the fear is down to 15%. Let's go to the sixth chakra, out to that third layer where there's more control beings, and they're putting fearful thoughts in your mind. How they actually do this, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They have very advanced technologies, and literal mind control has been being perfected since the 40s and maybe even long before that. So they have ways of controlling what we're thinking about. And we have bodies, they don't. We have tools that we can use to counteract all of these outer influences and ways that we're being affected. Let's also go to the heart, where there's also more fear, all the way out to the 25th layer. Let's use a black flame, trusting that the flame knows how to transmute this energy. So some of this fear is related to accessing your gifts, your knowing, which is really being called forward at this time. Those of you who are gifted, those of you who are star seeds that have come to the planet to help with this massive transformation humanity is going through. But you've been killed over and over and over for being in your gifts. And so it's a little fearful to step into that again. So let's, we're going to pull this energy in. It's asking to use an emerald flame as well. So this is a lot of the ritual abuse that's gone on in the past lives. Use an emerald flame. So this is more of the fear that you're letting go of. Okay, there we go. 7, 6, 5, 4. And then there's also some fear stirring at your solar plexus. Maybe you can feel that kind of little nervous stomach. All the way up to the 25th layer, we are going to use a black flame. Okay, great. Transmuting all of these energies. There we go. And just dumping all that fear down our grounding. Okay, so now the fear is at 0. So notice how much calmer your body is feeling. If you might have some residual stuff, use a black flame wherever you're feeling it. Then anger is at 0. And then one last thing I wanted to check was discarnate beings, just leftovers from Halloween. Yes, there's about 50 of them. So we're going to put them all in an avatar. We're going to put them in an image of a person. We're going to ground it. And there's just a couple places to clear in this avatar so we can help them ascend. Okay, and the fire trucks are going to take them away. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Right at the root chakra of this avatar, third layer, we're just going to pull this energy in and send it down the grounding cord of this avatar. So then they can all feel safe to take their next step. They don't know that they have the power to do that, so we're helping them. Whew. There we go. Okay, so they have all ascended. You're at a plus 30. Okay, whew. Okay, last but not least, we are going to clear our dream space avatar. So imagine another person, image of a person, and so this is your avatar. And this time it's going to, what we're going to make it represent is this space we go to at night when we're sleeping, this astral plane. So we want to make sure that this space is grounded. So it's not grounded. That's why you feel afraid to go to this space at night. It doesn't feel safe. So let's ground it and help it feel safe. Excellent. And before we go any further, there's rings above the head of this avatar, just like there is with your energy field. I want you to put into your the creative rings of your avatar that represents your dream space. And we are going to put things in here like feeling safe, having a good night's rest, waking refreshed, maybe learning some new things, maybe meeting some people who have crossed over, having fun adventures. Um, it's your dream space. You put into it what you'd like. And yeah. Okay. So now the space is grounded. Let's make sure that those roots are going deep into the earth, and let's bring up earth energy. Okay, that looks good. Let's see if there's a worry circle. Yes, out to the third layer. So this is where you might feel powerless in this space. You have those chasing dreams, and it feels like your legs are in slow motion in quicksand. Okay, so there's some control beings that we're going to use a black flame in the avatar, the root of the avatar. Okay, so we can feel safe and confident and look forward to some fun adventures. I like sleeping at night. I have lots of fun dreams, and I don't always remember my dreams, but often I do, very often. Okay, so there's no grounding cord. There's no worry circle. Let's make sure that the heart of this space is grounded. It is, so that's great. Next, let's bring pure source down through the rings. All of these desires that you have for this space, so that it's all in your highest and best interest. 7, 6, 5. So it's coming down through all the rings, crown, 6, 5. So right at the throat, where maybe you have a hard time screaming for help. And it's just like, help. You can't, it's just a whisper. Okay. Let's go out to that third layer. There's some control beings here. And there's a black flame right in the throat of the avatar. And we're going to transmute these control beings. Excellent. Whew. Okay, good. So as it's coming down through the throat, pure source, down into the heart, let's go out to the third layer, more control beings. And so we're going to transmute these so that you're not judging yourself on the astral plane in your dream space, making yourself wrong. I didn't do this right. I should have done that. I wish I hadn't gone there. And so all those coulda, woulda, shouldas. Okay, great. It's coming down through the heart, solar plexus, stopping right there. Second layer, fear, a lot of fear. So let's use a black flame. A black flame. Oya nae amaya kopu oya natia to kukaye. Naya papaya na tutu uyea. Okay, so bringing pure source down through the solar plexus of your avatar, second, spilling down the root. Great. So now the space is ultra grounded. Let's bring this 50-50 mixture up the front through the second, where it's stopping again, all the way up to the 25th layer. So that's more fear. Let's use a black flame to transmute the control beings. Okay, great. Whew. Okay, so as we're coming up through the second, third, fourth, right at the heart, let that stir in the heart, clearing out more judgments. And being able to access your infinite intelligence while you're in this astral plane. Some people can direct what happens on the astral if they're being chased or something, that they can actually stop and turn around and confront the chasers. And so that could be another one of the intentions you could have in your creative rings, is that you take decisive actions and empowering actions in your dreams. Okay, so coming up through the heart, throat, 6, crown. We're right at the crown. Third layer, back to giving ourselves permission. Use a black flame to transmute those control beings. Good. So as we're coming up through the crown and all of your rings and all the layers of the aura, let's pay special attention to the third layer, especially around the solar plexus. Whew. 15th layer, we're going to start at the bottom, lifting this energy up and out. Okay, and then 25th layer, starting at the bottom, lifting more of this fear out of here. So a lot around the solar plexus, trying to hold down your power. That's what fear is designed to do. It's designed to stop you. 30, 50th layer, starting at the bottom, lifting the watchers out of this space. Okay, the rest of the aura is clear. Now the circle of reciprocity, so you can have this space and enjoy it as you're giving to yourself. And maybe you're doing things on the astral. So this is the implementing doing arm. Okay, putting the fingertips together. Allow yourself to receive all the things you desire in this sleep space. Great. Through the heart, throat, 6, crown, rings. Excellent. I'm curious if any of you are noticing a difference. Do you feel calmer? Do you feel less anxious? Do you feel more present? How would you describe it? Love to hear. And a couple more things as far as sleep is, while you might be writing down a few things, comments, is to give some thought and consideration to our habits. Like, we are the accumulation of our daily habits. And so creating new habits around sleep, new rituals around sleep, creating that last hour or so as a time to unwind and prepare for bed instead of falling asleep in front of your computer or TV, that instead maybe are someone who needs to take a little melatonin, or you drink a little bit of sleepy time tea, or I personally, I try not to drink too much before I go to bed, so I'm not waking up to go to the bathroom all night. But everybody's different. Everybody has different size bladders, and so some of you can accommodate more. Uh, but at any rate, doing something that's going to help you unwind. I like to read before I go to bed. That's one way of helping me to unwind. And the especially avoid the news and anything that's too mind activating before you go to bed, and especially anything that's um, fearful. And of course, one of the best ways to prepare for bed is running your energy. So there is a free 20-minute meditation of running your energy that you can listen to that before you go to bed as a nice way to unwind and prepare for the sleep space. Maybe clearing your avatar for your dreams, putting your intentions up there. And so last but not least, we're going to make sure that our energy field is in a protective bubble of this electric blue energy. So the place that we want to put this electric blue is at the edge of our aura that connects to our physical body. So if you were to extend your arms out, and as far out as your arms go, that's about where the edge of your aura should be. That connects to your body. So we have 7 chakras that relate to 7 layers, and as we extend our arms all the way out, that's about how far 7 layers go. So right about there, put this electric blue bubble. Now that you've cleared your energy field, if you do it before that, you're just kind of sealing all the stuff in. So electric blue energy, and do this when you go to bed, as you create your astral space. And as you create your astral space, also so we're going to put a electric blue bubble around your astral space as well. This is the energy of Michael the Archangel, very protective kind of an energy. And so those 2 spaces, good place to put this electric blue energy. Any questions? I know you're all going to sleep well tonight. So be sure to do all this practice when you go to bed tonight, unwind, and give some consideration to whether or not you want to do this process every day for 20 minutes for 16 days. So through the entire rest of this month, starting on the 11th. So starting next Friday, we're going to go through the end of the month to December 2nd. And we're going to be doing this process every day, focused entirely on our health and wellness. So every day we're going to be clearing a new body system. We've already done the digestive system. Today we did our dream space, both important parts of maintaining vibrant health and to be able to accommodate the highest light quotient and frequencies that are possible. So, Reiki, again, we're not doing private clearings here. This is a group clearing. So I would suggest maybe doing a private session. We have an abbreviated 30-minute session that is available now. So you might give some consideration to that. And I am much more... Okay, good. So this is the person who was probably asking that had a fever. Oops, wait a minute, not that one. That I am much more safe despite being sick or clearing. So that's great because I know that when we take the interferences out of the way, then our body can heal. And so you're giving your body a better chance to spend all of its energy healing the body instead of defending all of this extraneous garbage. Now you're back in your body and can really do that. All right, so I look forward to seeing all of you next Friday, and we will have already started our next MediClearing program that morning. So I suggest you take a peek and see what's involved, all the details, and see if you'd like to join us. We've got a foundational group. We meet just in the morning, and then an advanced group. We meet morning and evening. So at night, we do a little more advanced protocols. We dive a little deeper. And so it's going to be really, really powerful. We've never done this before, or just focused entirely on health and wellness. So I'm excited about it. And I hope you are too. And I hope you'll be joining us. You're very welcome, Barbara. You're ready for sleep now, I bet. Yes. And feeling calmer. So that's great. Good to hear that. And yeah, some of you are on the other side of the planet. So this is what a great way to prepare for night's sleep. All right. So great to have all of you here. We will see you all again next week, and hopefully for our on the 11th for our next round of MediClearings. All right. Sending so much love, and have a great night's rest and a lot of fun. All right. Namaste.